Fossil Hay from CFA. What's up, guys? Ashby here, owner of Charleston Fossil Adventures, and I'm out here having potentially the worst day I've ever had while fossil hunting. Now, let's take a look at what I've gotten so far. Right off the bat, you can see this is a pretty terrible haul. There are not very many shark teeth in this pile. They're not very big. Nothing really to see here, huh? Well, by now, hopefully you've figured out that I am joking. I have found some decent shark teeth today. However, for this particular site, it's not producing as well as I would have hoped. Here we are after a big nor'easter. There are a lot of rough waves out there right now. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad, but they just really haven't been churning up as many fossils as I would have expected. So we have some angustodons and some chubutensis teeth. This one is actually pretty interesting. This is the largest, even though it's broken, extinct great white shark tooth I've ever seen. So, two-time predecessor to today's great white shark. No serrations on the edge of that tooth. So again, thank you for those who are joining live. If you're watching this after the live broadcast, thank you for stopping by as well. Always glad to have everyone. This one is a pretty neat little vertebra from a lamniform shark, so probably something within the white shark or the megalodon lineage. Got a pretty unique spotted eagle ray tooth right here. Neat little feather pattern design on it. That's actually the root of the tooth, whereas this is the chewing surface. And one of my favorites as a mammal specialist, this one is an upper premolar from a horse. So this is from Equus, the genus of horses that we had living here during the Ice Age. Second premolar, we can tell that based on the shape of the tooth. It is more triangular than, say, some of the other cheek teeth, such as the third premolar or the fourth premolar, on back through the second molar. Another unique find right here. That is a set of 3 articulated stingray teeth, or a type of eagle ray. This one, however, unlike this guy, was not shed. This one was the result of a dead stingray. So none of these teeth were ejected from the mouth. This is part of his last set of teeth. And we've got some other videos on the channel showcasing some of those. Let's see. Other unique items. Got a lumbar vertebra from a whale or a dolphin. Let's see. A little partial billfish vertebra right there. And if I go over here into my bag, I've got another bag of material here. Now, for those that aren't familiar with this, all of the fossils that you see here, I'm not keeping any of them. These are all getting sent out to my Patreon supporters for the month of January. We call that Shark Tooth Club Monthly over on Patreon. So if you want to check that out, I will put a link in this description once I get back from the beach. But things that don't head to the museum will head to my Patreon supporters. So even something like that really, really nice shark tooth. This guy's pretty cool. This is a section of a dolphin jawbone. It's called the mandible, so it's the lower jaw. And you can see, hopefully, it's catching it there, a couple of the root sockets for the teeth. Those are called alveoli. Pretty neat find right there. hopefully the paleontologists at the college will be able to identify it. This one is a bit of a younger fossil. This is a fossilized sand dollar in the Goose Creek limestone, which is a 3 to 5 million year old limestone deposit. Very cool find right there. Hey David, thanks for joining. Glad to have you. I'm doing pretty well today. We have got nice balmy weather here in Charleston. We're cruising around at around 63 Fahrenheit right now. Hopefully, I would ask, go ahead and tell me what your weather's doing over there in England. I got 3 little fossilized barnacles here too. Those are fun. And let's see. Oh, we don't get very much petrified wood out here, but I did manage to find a section of petrified wood. So, again, is this my worst day fossil hunting? Maybe not. But at this particular site, I would argue it is one of the least productive visits that I have had. So let's kind of go. We'll walk around now to some of the shell material over here, do a little bit of live hunting while you're with me. Hopefully we can find something cool. Got a nice dense patch of shell material here. Again, if you're enjoying the video, glad to have you with me. Please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, give it a like, so that more people can check out the fossils we have here in South Carolina and learn a little bit about them along the way. Now, one trick that I use when I am out here fossil hunting on the beach, and something I go over in my some of my other videos, you can kind of see right here we have a gully between 2 patches of shells, and some people, they'll look at this patch of shell and they'll say, ooh, that's visual overload. I can't look in there for shark teeth. I don't mind it that much. I will spend a good bit of time looking through this just on the surface. However, if you find that's too much, you can look on the margins of these piles. Sometimes the material will kind of intergrade out like that. You can see it's going from bigger shell down into medium before it gets into finer sand. And sometimes those margins are a really good place to look. You can find a good number of teeth that way. So we will see if one pops out here. Glad to hear you don't have much snow up there, David. That's, believe it or not, 2 days ago here in Charleston, in the south of the U.S., we had flurries. So it got down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit here locally. Everyone was dripping the pipes so the pipes wouldn't freeze. Yeah, I've got several pipes on the outside of my house I had to get taken care of. All right, let's see. First tooth on the live stream. Looks like it is going to be a partial extinct great white, or Carcharodon histalis. Let's see. Oh, yeah, see here on the margin of the pile, we've got a little extinct great white again. We like when all of that shell grades out into sand. That is very helpful. Let's see. We've been seeing a lot of shell out here today, but unfortunately, not a lot of teeth mixed in with it. This stretch, it would normally be somewhere where we would see, got a little tiny member of the megalodon lineage, so a little juvenile right there. But yeah, again, normally on a stretch like this, we would see teeth that are in, kind of the one inch range, solidly scattered about. Hey, Derek. Good to have you on the stream. I live up north of Charleston. Right now, I'm on one of the outermost sea islands of Charleston, taking advantage of some dredged fossil material. Again, one important thing to note at these sites is that you want to stay below the high tide line. Anything above that, even if it's not seen much as an active dredge site, that is considered trespassing. So just let's preserve this hobby for everyone and hunt in the areas where we are allowed to hunt. Yes, Derek, Goose Creek is a good spot to collect. Got lots of colorful teeth up your way. Let's see, another little tip of an extinct great white there. And again, for those that are catching this stream and didn't hear about it on the last stream, I am looking to figure out how the picture can be a little clearer on the live streams. If anyone does have some advice, I would love to hear it. I'm looking at some third-party apps to do streaming through my phone, because this is the 13 Pro, iPhone 13 Pro. So the camera in the phone is not the issue. It's unfortunately just the YouTube app and focusing up close. Got a nice little sand tiger shark tooth right there. And this larger thing is a section of archaic Native American pottery. So this one could be around 4,000 years old. Again, I am not an archaeologist, I'm a paleontologist, so don't quote me on that. I know enough to be dangerous in the realm of archaeology, for sure. Another helpful thing that I look for when I am out on the beach and I see piles of shells, I will look through piles of shells, but I will really look through piles of shells that have the darker black phosphate rocks mixed in there. Brandon, I'm working on getting my captain's license so that I can bring people out here. Unfortunately, it's too far to kayak and really dangerous at times, but I'd say within the next 2 years I should have my captain's license so that I can start taking people out in my boat. That's part of the reason of today's trip, is getting the hours required for a captain's license, which are 360 days operating your vessel, and you can't double dip within a single day. So if I was out for all day, I couldn't say, oh yeah, that counts as 2 days in the log. I am very early on in my journey, so once I do get my license, however, my tours will transition mostly to boat. I take people out in kayaks right now, and that would be the comparable tour that I could offer to what we're doing right now. And all of this information will be posted through the website link in the description once the live feed is finished and I can get back home and fully edit the description. Fun facts about the fossils that are washing out on the beach here: they can range in age from 11,000 years, like that Ice Age horsetooth that I found, all the way upwards of 30 million years, all the way back to the very early Oligocene epoch, which is about halfway through the Cenozoic era, starting right when the dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago. I've been doing so much talking, I don't think I really looked at the sand in that stretch. But I will pay attention down. Oh, there we go. Yes. Look at that one. Awesome little either angustodens or chubutensis. You can see there's a little bit of an extra tooth right there. So that is a nice one to capture on the live stream. Excellent. Got a little section of sea turtle shell right here. That, let's see, could be a partial ossicle from a leatherback sea turtle, which is not as common. Those that saw my last live video in the field got to see 2 leatherback ossicles come out of that site. That was exciting. This one will be bound for the museum for their collection because they just don't have a lot of those. There is a really worn down tooth. Looks like it is from a Nico. Fastest shark in the ocean. Upwards of 37 miles per hour in swimming burst speed. I personally wish I could run 37 miles per hour. Would be a pretty nice way to get around. So I've migrated now more into the larger material, spread out with fewer small shells in between. And looks like it has paid off for some of the larger finds. Right here is an epiphysis, or sometimes fossil hunters call it a cookie. Posted a couple videos back talking about these guys. But you can see that nice little radiating star pattern right there with the articulation between this guy. It's not really an articulation, but it's the fusion of this growth plate between the main body of the vertebra. And we have epiphyses in our own bodies as well. This one came from a dolphin. And it's essentially how our bones articulate while they are growing and developing. This bone is complete, but the space in between it and the main body of the bone is a little softer. It's very loosely connected, and so that's where the bone elongation and growth occurs. Once we turn into biological adults, then the epiphyses on our limb bones, on our vertebrae, fuse to the main body of the bone. So that's kind of, regardless of whether you're in humans 18 years old or 21 years old, by the time these growth plates fuse to the body of the bone, you're considered a biological adult. So that's a pretty neat thing we can do when we're looking at skeletons, is we can look at how these bones are connected. We can look at how they're fused and say if it's a juvenile, we can determine if it's an adult, and then even if it's something like a sub-adult. So a teenager, essentially. Pretty neat things we can do just by looking at a single bone. I'll be looking for a little bit longer here. I won't be doing an hour-long video like the last live stream, but wanted to bring you guys along. Oh, let's see. I don't know how I saw it standing up, but right there, little teeny tiny reef shark tooth. There you go. Something like a spinner shark or a silky or white tip, black tip, something along those lines. The fun fact about our shark teeth sizes and shapes is that this is driven a lot by, or primarily by, diet. So if you're eating, say, dolphins and whales, you don't need conical pointy teeth because they're not really going to be cutting pieces of flesh off of these animals. You want something like a serrated steak knife. So our great whites, our megalodons, and makos having smooth-edged teeth but still knife-shaped teeth, they're going to be adapted really well to chewing off chunks, tearing off chunks of these larger marine creatures. Those conical teeth, like sand tigers, like I found earlier, those are going to be really adept at catching smaller fish. They're going to be caging those fish in, or if they get into a big school of them, they're going to just lunge at many of them, hoping that some of their teeth are going to pierce into some of those fish and then they can swallow them on back. And then the other fun shark tooth shape would be that of a tiger shark. So one that is a little more obliquely oriented, pointed sideways towards the back of the jaw. That indirect pressure is really good at chomping open sea turtle shells. So pretty uniquely shaped teeth in that department. All right, I want to get one more tooth and then we will call it. Kind of up here in small shells, so I need to be looking for smaller teeth. That is just how fluids sort items. If you're in a river and you see a sandbar, it's probably going to be all sand, but if you're in a faster moving body of water, all of those smaller particles are moved on and you get left with all of the larger items. So, what size tooth will we find? This doesn't count. It's partial. It's hardly complete enough to tell what it is. I think I'll leave that one here for someone else to appreciate. Okay, perfect. So, I was just talking about tiger sharks. Right there is a very nice tooth from the modern species of tiger shark, Galliacerdo cuvier. So let me get this guy up here. So, nice sideways pointed tooth. Great for crunching into some sea turtles. Doubly serrate, so the serrations right here on the left side are actually serrated themselves. So, kind of a unique thing that we see on these teeth. Oof, we really don't want to focus. There we go. Yeah, you can catch them a bit there in the light. Again, I apologize. You can't see the detail quite as nicely as I would have liked. But I'll carry you back to the bag here. And for those that just joined, you can see what we started with. Again, this might not be my worst fossil hunt ever, but considering the locality, we should have found a whole lot more. So, lots of nice teeth, though. Nice angustodons, chubutensis, things like that, and a really, really massive extinct great white. All right, thank you so much for joining in, guys. I appreciate all of the likes on the video so that other people can see it as well. Keep spreading the paleo knowledge out there. Responsible collecting and happy hunting. We'll see you next time.